The moment we have been waiting for the entire day is finally here. We have our teams. OSD versus This Is Jimmy, and they've been battling it. They've gone through so much of this competition, knocking out ReGen teams. They've been knocking out, actually, This Is Jimmy knocking out 2 of our ReGen teams today, both ReGen Black and ReGen Red. And OSD coming through, knocking out ReGen Blue. So these guys have been the ReGen killers today, and they've made it all the way here to the grand finals to see who is the grandest of them all. And joining me, as the entire day he has, Ragnnarrok here once again. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Super pumped about this game. It has been quite a journey to get here. We have casted 5 series throughout the day, all culminating up until this one. And lucky for me and lucky for you, we have gotten to see This Is Jimmy at the very beginning. We actually casted them against ReGen Red, and we got to see OSD actually in the last series where they took their series 2-0 against Blasting Burrows. This is going to be one insane matchup, Murda.
So I need to update you guys in chat that there is a delay we're going to have as we see Tempo Storm beating Endemic 3-1 in that set. Smile on Rag's face. Little despair on mine. I was hoping Mikey Doll and the boys would make it to the clash, but looks like they're not going to be able to make it. I think Octalysis grabs up that last spot. But we are waiting for one person. Woven had a power outage, so trying to see if we can get a substitute in for him, and the rest of the players are kind of hanging out.
I'm excited for this matchup, Murda, and it is a best of 5 as the semifinals were actually a best of 3, so we are going to go potentially to a game 5 here. I would absolutely love that because the HOTS played by these 2 teams in this tournament have been out of this world. And we're first starting off on Infernal Shrines. Actually, that was the map played in the first round of this tournament, correct? So kind of cool going back to the very start in a way.
Yeah, so as voted on by the captains, were the maps that we're going to play in our best of 1 rounds. It was Infernal Shrines, Volskaya, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Another new sub, as I'm opening up a giveaway right now. It was Professor Bobo first. This time it's Ghost Dunk with the sub. So both of my fellow Nexus Now podcast hosts showing some love for their boy. I appreciate that. Just started the giveaway. It's a ReGen sticker. We've already given out 3 this evening. I want to give out a bunch more. I have 15 total giveaways, so 12 left in the bank. If you want a ReGen sticker, I will show you what it looks like right now on screen. There it is. This is green, but green screen, of course, makes it so you can't see it. But it's a sticker. It says ReGen, has our globe on there. So if you want to win one, enter the giveaway. Just exclamation point, ReGen.
Oops. Forgot to cancel. Captain Murda globe.
Ragnnarrok with the sub as well. Appreciate it, man.
You got it, dude. Thanks for putting on this tournament for everyone to enjoy this day, this Saturday.
So make sure, exclamation point, ReGen in chat. You will be entered to win a ReGen sticker. Still waiting to see what's going on here in the draft lobby. Don't have an update for you yet, but we will take this time to peek on over at the bracket challenge. Let me make sure I have this set up before I flip the scene. Da 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 da. Doing magic behind the scenes. I feel like the Wizard of Oz. Is this all up to date? That is all up to date. Wow. Shout out to our tournament admins today, Aura and Red. Red being the manager for ReGen, Aura being one of the favorite moderators over at NGS. They've done a fantastic job today helping this event run behind the scenes, so shout out to them. Also, huge shout out, you guys are talking in chat about that intro video, courtesy of Weenus, did a fantastic job. Also want to shout out people like Crow and his art team, including Tax1K and Captain Snail for doing some of the artwork you see today, including this webcam scene that you're looking at. Our logo was updated by Crow, looks really nice. But here is the bracket challenge, currently in the lead. And if OSD wins, Axon will take home... Oh, actually, we have a couple people. So either this guy Wieners or Axon will take home the championship in the bracket challenge. If This Is Jimmy can win, Deep Howell 204 will be your bracket challenge champion. So 3 left in the running. Whoever wins this match will decide it all.
So, Murda, where did we actually place on that challenge? I know I was pretty close to dead last.
So I think my points are ended. Yeah, I got, what is this, 25 total points. Good for 44th place. Rag, you ended, here you are, 19 total points in 53rd place. So we tried.
I mean, some of us more than others, apparently. Holy hell.
But congratulations to the 3 still in the running here. Axon, Untitled, I guess that's D Powell 204, and Wieners, also known as Bradley. Good luck moving forward, and root on your team here. Twitch.tv/MurdaRG going to bring you this grand final, as we're still waiting on OSD to find a replacement. I do not know what the status is.
So it actually looks like they're going to be waiting 3 more minutes to see if Woven joins back, and if not, they do have a sub ready. So they're just giving him a couple more minutes to see if his power comes back on, and if not, they're just going to have a sub come in.
Okay. Who are we looking at? Figgy. No, we're not bringing Figgy in. No HGC pros today. Make sure. Keep entering to win the stickers. Is that thing on? I don't see anyone.
Oh, I think they're actually bringing Bahamut Gaming into the mix. I don't know how you're going to obs and play at the same time, Baha, but if there's anyone that's going to do it, it would probably be you.
Let's restart this thing here. Okay, let's see if people want to get a sticker. Entries have stopped. Type ReGen to join. Okay, well, we'll see if people want to hit ReGen to join. There's your final warning, or else I'm keeping a bunch of stickers. So let's talk about the teams they've played against today. So for OSD, they started the afternoon off up against Rainbow Spectrum, a lower tier team in NGS, but a team nonetheless.
Donation accepted.
Hulk, sweet.
Thanks for all the hard work, man. Great job from all casters.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Shui, for that donation. Really glad, once again, as I mention every time, to have you on ReGen Red. You are you make me proud, man. Appreciate you joining the squad. OSD Rainbow Spectrum was the first round where OSD took I think I heard it was a 5-level lead in that game, Rag.
It was, yeah. It was kind of nuts. I think it was like 17-12 or 17-13, something like that.
And then they next took on ReGen Blue, one of the home team squads here, and that one was casted by Swing Time, and OSD was able to win that game as well. It was a little bit closer, but still showing their force. Then OSD in the quarterfinals faced up against a team in adults with jobs that had upset the round before Royal Heroes of the Realm of Luxoria, which is a very high-seeded team in the heroic division of NGS. OSD was able to take out adults with jobs and move on to the semifinals, where you caught them over here on twitch.tv/MurdaRG and found out that OSD was the better of the two, advancing for the second time in a row to the ReGen Invitational Finals, where they lost last season to what? Am I on the wrong scene? Oh, I'm still on the wrong scene. I'm sorry. Here, let me do this. Where they took on Victoria's Secret, and a member of their team right now, Manby, was on that squad of Victoria's Secret that defeated them last season here in the ReGen Invitational. So there is oh, it looks like Hedgie is going to be the backup player.
Whoa.
Okay. So welcome aboard, Hedgie from Baja's Boys, competed earlier in this event. Looks like he's going to be the sub. But Manby was on that team of Victoria's Secret, won the event last season over OSD, and yes, OSD said, hey, if you can't beat them, have them join us. So Manby here for going for the back-to-back ReGen Invitational Championships.
Hedgie seemed to have left just now. I'm not actually sure if OSD let us know who it's going to be, but let's see what they do here.
Still waiting for confirmation of who's coming in. Looks like Hedgie trying to join once again. This time he is in. making sure that our captains are set. I believe we had dementia with the captain last time. Let me ask them just to make sure. Captains look good. So we are on Infernal Shrines. This is game number 1. If you're coming over from the HGC, welcome. This is a much cooler event, by the way. Very happy to be hosting this. Shout out to my boy Rag for sticking with me all day. New to casting. I'm sure you'll see him casting some games in Season 5.
That is the idea. I do want to start doing some solo casts and group casts for NGS in Season 5. So appreciate the opportunity, Murda, to cast with you, of course. We've been friends for over a year and a half now and played on the original ReGen, the first incarnation of the team on HOTS. And now I'm helping coach ReGen Red as their support and assassin coach. So awesome to be here. Looking forward to the series. It's going to be a good one, man.
For those of you asking, no, it's not beer. That was a Dasani sparkling water, tropical pineapple flavor, which is now expired, and I will be sipping from my ReGen mug as we are waiting for one last member of This Is Jimmy to ready up, and we'll be good to go here into game number 1.
So any thoughts on draft? I think the hero pools for both sides, just based on what I've seen throughout, they are diverse enough where outside of maybe bans on things like Genjis or Tracers, I don't think the teams are going to struggle too much with hero pools, Murda. I really don't.
No, these rosters are deep. Okay, teams are starting to ready up. I'm just going to throw an R just to make sure I hear back from Corgi Booty. They are ready to go, Rag. So launching it here into game number 1. OSD versus This Is Jimmy in the grand finals of the ReGen Invitational 2.
And here we go, Murda. Let's get this show on the road. Best of 5 to remind everyone in the crowd. We are starting on Infernal Shrines. Let's see what our teams decide. And just to confirm, it is OSD on the left, correct? In the blue?
Yes, correct. OSD is on the left-hand side in the blue. This is Jimmy on the right in the red. On the clock is OSD, as this was the pick of This Is Jimmy. They brought us here to Infernal Shrine, so OSD is going to have the first pick, and they're banning out an early Medivh.
That looks like a respect ban if I've ever seen it. Medivh can enable some really, really disgusting plays to happen. Easy engage on the back line, great zone control with things like the Leyline Seal, and he can even shut down a team with the Polybomb. A Yrel ban, not too surprising with the current meta. She has excellent sustain in lane, can bully people out, and Divine Steed at 7 can force really, really quick rotations on that team. So I love that ban. Let's see what OSD follows up with.
All right, so with Yrel gone, Medivh gone, the third ban here in this phase is going to be Tracer, which I believe we actually saw OSD ban out in, and let me double check my notes here, in game number 2, OSD did ban that out against Blasting Burrows in the semifinals. And wait, and they also banned it out in the first game too, so they've been banning away Tracer from as much as we know about this team tonight.
Yeah, and a Genji ban, not surprising. Again, he can do so much damage to a squishy backline, so may as well get rid of it. And OSD picking up the Alexstrasza first pick. An incredible map for her. That dragon single-handedly turning team fights throughout the game. Excellent pick, not surprising, and followed up with an Azmodan and a Jimmy Raynor, our 2 most recently reworked characters.
So Azmodan, if you guys tuned in over on Bobo's channel, was the hero of the match. Dunking away in game number 2, ReGen Black was able to win off This Is Jimmy, and then This Is Jimmy took it away in game number 3 on Towers of Doom. So Azmodan making an appearance here in the grand finals. Is it enough for This Is Jimmy to get through OSD?
We'll see, Murdy. It depends on the evolution of the draft. Dehaka, incredibly powerful on this map. Really good for the top lane, depending on the matchup, and can also flank down through the bushes to join the team at any given time. Phoenix, generally a strong pick. Really good on this map in particular. Excellent wave clear, and offers some potential gank with the Planet Cracker if the comp is right.
All right, so I just announced 3 more winners. Red, one of our admins, Zen's Vet, one of the players on ReGen Red, and KWolf55. Go find me on Discord and message me. I'll make sure I get that out to you on Monday. Bands coming through, Johanna and Blaze.
Not surprising, denying a lot of wave clear and some engage, but a snap pick on the Diablo and the Sonya here. Wow, that is some dive, which if I've ever seen it with that Diablo. And the Asmodean poke with the sustained damage of that Raynor is going to make it pretty difficult. Let's see how OSD responds.
All right, so final 2 picks as a donation coming through from Graysville. One of our fine casters of the evening made it all the way through to the semifinals where he joined up with Professor Bovo casting for us today. So huge shout out to Gravesville, Muradin, and Maev, the final 2 picks for OSD.
Those picks are terrifying. The potential for damage with a Maev Warden's Cage and the Phoenix damage is insane. The support pickup for the side of This Is Jimmy is a Deckard. Not surprising, excellent zone control on this map. Can single-handedly turn team fights with Stay a While and Listen in that setup. So both teams have incredibly meta drafts. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is looking deadly for both sides. The Dahaka here on Infernal Shrines can get a ton of value. Staying split, brush stalking in. My favorite hero in the game, as you know so well. Can he give them that global advantage that they need? Will he be able to get around this map and wreak havoc everywhere? Or will he be shut down by Sonya? I mean, that's kind of where we're sitting at right now with this. As we have one more hero to enter here, I think. There we go. I think we got it. Yeah, we did it, Baja.
So with this kind of rotation again, Murda, we're actually going to see the Asmodean most likely in the foreman. And I think the idea there is to get him stacked nice and early. Especially on a map like this that, again, has well-defined points of control, someone like an Asmodean will get a lot of value. You can see him taking Wrath at level 1, which tends to be the pick for most Asmodean players at the high level that I've been seeing. Interesting note, the Alex Straza build actually takes Circle of Life at level 1. We've been seeing in the HGC and Open many players switching over to the Q build, but into something like an Asmodean with Raynor Poke. I think that adjustment is definitely a good one. The probability of you staying above the 75% to proc all those Q talents is going to be low, because you eat that globe, you're pretty much done.
So OSD is going to be on your left-hand side today. We have This Is Jimmy over on the right. You saw the heroes who they're playing on the skyscrapers that floated in. And we are off in game number 1. Talents on your screen. And Diablo immediately standing out to me, opting for Feast on Fear over his Devil's Due.
I think that's an okay talent pick as the teams look to engage on these shrines as the game begins. That charge is going to get a lot of value. So good adjustment here by that Diablo. All other talents seem pretty normal to me. There's a big engage happening in the mid lane, but the Maev going invulnerable and vaulting upwards to avoid that Deckard route.
Yeah, very interesting having Hedgie come in as a sub. How much he's gotten to play with these players on OSD is the question mark. Will he be able to help them, as he was part of the squad in Baja's Boys, who was the #1 seed coming into this event. They got eliminated earlier. Let me make sure I have this right, who knocked him out. It was the Blasting Burrows, who OSD took care of in the semifinals. So Hedgie here available for the grand finals as we see this fight over this Cosric camp. Tiny Rick on that Asmodean in a weird spot. Corgi Booty very low as well and is able to dwarf toss back to safety. Camp taken away by This Is Jimmy.
That was an excellent engage and counter engage by the side of This Is Jimmy with an Asmodean just consistently auto attacking, getting that Q value. What a fight. I wasn't sure if it was going to go one way or another, but OSC made a good decision to disengage there, and now both teams are on their siege camps.
Both teams, as you can see here, split on each side, getting their siege camps grabbed, and OSD were the first to grab it, so they're going to be able to move up here onto Diablo and start working on this wave that was pushing up against their wall. Corgi Booty up front on that Muradin, and I mean, basically, when you have your Murda, you love seeing him play this aggressive, getting in and using that dwarf toss as an escape. There's not a lot to shut it down in terms of locking him in outside of that scroll of sealing from Deckard Cain, or maybe even a Diablo, but he's playing aggressive so far, and I've liked what I've seen out of Corgi Booty.
Absolutely, and I think if that Murden can engage and lock down that Deckard or that Raynor, the team comp can fall apart in the later parts of this game, but they do have to go through a Diablo front line. Even Azmodan himself with his high health pool is a force to be reckoned with later on in the game. So both teams getting their hard camps in the top lane in preparation for that first shrine, which will be in the top of the map.
All right, so already on the shrine is Sonya working on those skeletal defenders. J-Shifts 22, already gotten 4 here for This Is Jimmy, but moving in is OSD. Corgi Booty gonna anchor this top area and make sure that Michi D's cannot walk in here on his Diablo. He wants to protect his backline. Remember, there is an Alexstrasza and a Dragon form available for OSD, so watch for Trent. Playing in a very safe position right now. Gonna wait to pop that Dragon until the opportune moment. Already 17 defenders picked up for OSD as they're looking to take this fight. Here comes the Dragon. On top is Corgi Booty looking to get a Stormbolt and lock anyone in here. There's the Abundance getting some healing. On top of all these members of OSD, they pushed them back, but they did not get any kills. So OSD gonna move into the shrine and try to capture what they can out of this pit.
That was an excellent engage and disengage. There are 32 now still taken for the side of OSD. Do they stay in, Murda? They just need 6 more. They have to watch that engage for the Diablo.
They're also very close to level 7 as that scroll of sealing was evaded by the burrow of the Haka. Manby almost got locked in, but a great job using his E talent. Now we see Corgi Booty keeping him back, and OSD grabbing the first Punisher of the game and our first pause of the game. Sec change server, Dan, LatAm, Discord broke. Okay, so Discord issue. I'm gonna move us back.
Yeah, actually, you were all robots during that as well, Murda. You were coming through as a robot.
Okay, so wow, just pure Discord lag. Casters having Discord lag to FYI. Must be a Discord thing.
In-game voice could be a good option too, Murda. As a
I'll just say we're gonna wait it out.
sure.
Let's wait it out until the internet lag clears. Are we good? Like, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna throw this over to the webcam scene.
Sure.
Here we are. Game 1. OSD versus This Is Jimmy, and a little bit of a lead for OSD. Okay, looks like they're saying they're good.
I mean, it looks like it. We want to get started again, Murda? I'll
Okay,
let you
yeah.
know if anything happens again, and we can
Okay.
change servers if we need to as well.
Okay, all right, we're back in. I'm gonna count these teams in. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in.
That is an excellent engage onto Diablo, and he goes down. What a great tether by the Maiev, played by Hedgie, who, as we mentioned before, is subbing in for OSD. The Dragon in that previous fight was incredibly impactful and executed at the right time. Corgi Booty missing that Stormbolt, but this Punisher is still getting good value, and you notice that the Haka actually went to the mid lane and is trying to double soak.
Yeah, the jump stun barely missing there from Corgi Booty. As up top, they do find Tiny Rick this time, picking up their second kill of the game with their level 7 talents. They got through a wall, and very well done by OSD using that Punisher to siege forward. And it gives them opportunity now to go around this map. Once again, they're going to get their siege camp. They could potentially work in that bottom siege camp as well. And perhaps they want to start down there, and it looks like that is the play. Manby going to anchor here, make sure no one's in, and get started on that siege camp bottom side.
Excellent. And with that top fort taken, that fort wall in particular, OSD is up by a level. Those kills just vaulting them a little bit ahead. They do have to be a bit careful here. The rotation by This Is Jimmy is coming down in the bot lane. They're looking to engage, Murda.
Yeah, Enigmatic in a weird spot, showed his face, and he's able to go back through the siege pit there and warp back to safety. So Enigmatic making it out just fine. Murda looking at Sonya over by the other siege camp. Is there a little battle coming out here to see if a rotation comes out from either team? But they're just kind of trading blows for now. There is the two siege camps on the map. Do these teams want to look at them? Do they want to put that pressure out? And it looks like both of them will do just that. Both sides working on their siege camps, Rag.
Excellent. And in the top lane, you see Dahaka going at it once again with that Sonya, looking to soak level 10 for the side of OSD. This is Jimmy did close the experience gap just a little bit. Now they're only like 3/4 of a level behind, and it looks like both teams will most likely hit level 10 before the next Punisher phase.
Yeah, absolutely. I think OSD will, with Dahaka split out. He's falling low using Essence up there, but he'll survive. He's going to be able to get around this map and stay a bit longer to make sure OSD has level 10. But here comes a fight at mid. Sonya on the flank, looking to spear forward onto Enigmatic, and does, but warping away. Phoenix back to safety, sitting in that abundance, and all the members of OSD are healed back to full. Dahaka still split out, and look at this, level 10s online for OSD. We see the Avatar, the Isolation, the Warden's Cage. That is a Cleansing Flame from Alexstrasza, and the Purification Salvo. So we're not going to see Lifebinder here, Rag.
I think, you know, I'm okay with that. I understand that the meta has been changing towards that Lifebinder, but I still personally, as an Alexstrasza player, as a support main, find a lot of value with that Cleansing Flame. Again, the Q build and that Lifebinder gets a lot of value when you can be a bit safer, but with the Diablo and with the zone control and the poke that the Asmodean can offer, I kind of like that. You can go in and dive with your team and use it as an escape as well.
All right, so both teams do get level 10, Rag, as you suggested they might. But it is going to be level 11, it looks like, for OSD by time the Shrine kicks off in 3 seconds. And here it comes, Warden's Cage from Edgy, locking into with that Umbral Bind. There's the Purification Salvo, trying to finish him off, and they get Asmodean down. There's a Lightning Breath from Diablo. Mitchie D's in a weird spot, getting stunned by Corgi Booty, and his Storm Bolt. See ya later, Diablo. And he's down, sitting at 3 stacks on his Soul Stone. And the Shrine is wide open now for OSD. Resetting those Diablo stacks is huge.
I absolutely love how Dragon was using that fight. And again, that Cleansing Flame, everyone just standing on the abundance from the Alexstrasza's first cap. They have to be careful though, because this is Jimmy is looking to counter engage.
Yeah, they're trying to get in here. Diablo had the quick respawn, so he's back quickly, but doesn't have all the health he normally would. Great dunk there by Asmodean. Gonna help finish off Phoenix, and Corgi Booty has to use Avatar. He's backing up with 800 health as the charge forward from Diablo was not... Oh, it was close, but not enough to get the Murda, and he's back to as well. Gonna get that second win to also give him some health back, and positioning has been handed over to This Is Jimmy. They have all 5 members here, and it's going to have to be conceded by OSD. I don't see how they make it back in here without Dragon and Phoenix.
I think they might have to just give it up, Murda. That Phoenix will not get back here in time with that Shrine clear of the Sonya. So, unfortunately, that team fight did not go their way. There is a Lightning Breath being cast by that Diablo. Hedges going in, that Maiev looking for value. There are a lot of Q resets that are happening. Do they have enough damage to take down that Asmodean? The Lornado causing absolute chaos, but that is a 5-person Purification Salvo. And unfortunately, This Is Jimmy still finds a way to get that Punisher.
Ooh, and Hedgie on the top side almost falling to Diablo, but doing a fantastic job of... using his Vault of the Wardens to dodge some of the skill shots there by Diablo. And this is the first Punisher of the game, a Mortar Punisher for This Is Jimmy. Pushing down this middle lane, sieging through the wall, getting one of the towers, and here's Jimmy's Hyperion. This is Jimmy, and it's Dementia, the captain, ripping forward with that hero. They're going to get this fort, but the question is, will they be able to push forward and work on this keep wall too?
I think they're going to back off here, Murda. That Phoenix dancing with the devil. He got comboed, but right before that Scroll of Sealing hit him, he was able to warp out. As per the team being a bit further back in this particular case, This Is Jimmy is invading that team, the siege camp, and they're still fighting. Wow.
Warden's Cage locking into Asmodean in a weird spot. Number by opponent back on a Lornado, pushing back the members of OSD, comboed with that Lightning Breath. Phoenix has to run back to safety. Silence the Isolation on top of Diablo. He's gonna fall. First in the fight to fall. Enigmatic could be next as Sonya's here. Pops the Wrath. J-Shift looking for something, but the Haka dragging her back, and that's a double kill for OSD.
That is the power of Maiev. What an excellent Warden's Cage just to control the team. 3 members of OSD were getting consistently pushed back from that Lornado, which has been causing havoc to OSD. But the realization of Alexstrasza to pop that dragon, to place the abundance circle in a spot that just sustained that Phoenix long enough to take down that Sonya was excellent. Trinth is playing out of their mind on this Alex, Murda.
Yeah, I really like the positioning of the Warden's cages from Hedgie coming in as a sub here. Of course, a very experienced player, but showing OSD that he's here to help them win this fight up against This Is Jimmy. And again, I want to shout out Hedgie for the Warden's cage positioning and being able to keep the Azmodan locked in. That time it was Diablo and Sonya they were able to kill off.
This is excellent. Both teams respecting vision, respecting their positions on the map. The experience is dead even, Murda. These team fights have been back and forth. It can go anyone's way. We kind of mentioned it loosely in passing, but the Deckard taking that Lornado as a really cool sort of adjustment, and we also see the pickup for Ancient Blessings. Every 30-second AoE, auto attacks, and AoE healing into Jimmy Raynor, that is going to get so much value. Let's see how that affects the team fights coming up.
Yeah, I think really the big thing is the siege potential from an Azmodan, Jimmy doing a lot, and Sonya with a Wrath. It's so much for This Is Jimmy. And you look around the map and see the one Punisher was able to get that fort mid, and that's really what's kept This Is Jimmy in this game. Without that fort down, OSD would have a nice little lead right now. But instead, the sieging power has afforded them just about even in the XP department right now, as Diablo flipping over Hedgie, going to sit in this abundance and drag back Diablo. He's falling low, and Mitchie D's is going to fall. The stacks are at 64, so he's going to retain those and have a full cooldown on his death timer. Mid, we do see a Khazra camp pushing. They're going to have to send a response there as the Shrine's activating up top.
It looks like they are going for that well, Murda. That would be a huge pick here prior to this fight. We do have to wait for that Diablo to come back, but I love this heads-up play. The Shrine has not spawned yet. They might even get 16 here if they push on for that fort.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do with that mid? Because that fort wall, or the keep wall, is taking damage. The tower is about to fall. There's another minion wave about to show up, and there's been no one from OSD looking at that yet, so they're giving up a little bit of their mid lane protection in favor of wanting to get this Punisher right now. Diablo is splitting, but here comes This Is Jimmy.
Wow, that engage was insane. I was hoping that the Azmodan would get pushed back. Corgi Booty does get launched. That's Lightning Breath out. Can they sustain through this? The Dragon coming up and saving Hedgie there. Can they counter engage? They're both teams are 16 now, Murda.
Yeah, Dahaka still mid, still clearing up that camp. He does have his brush stock in, and here comes Mambi looking for a tongue. Doesn't find anyone, but there's the Warden's Cage locking in 3. The reset's coming out from Maiev, and there's a Purification Salve doing a lot of damage. Dimension on the backside gonna fall, as well as the Raynor, the Diablo. So that's a double kill for OSD. They're looking for more inside the pit. It's Sonya, the targets of their sights, and it's a triple kill for OSD. They're gonna get this Punisher. They saved their mid keep, and what a turn of events after Dahaka brush stalked into that bush.
The level of isolation provided, pun intended, on that Deckard Cage just absolutely shut him down in his ability to control the team fight. What an excellent play from Manby on that Dahaka. The focus, surgical from the rest of the team. Again, that Warden's Cage causing a ton of chaos. And with that Warden's Cage, you immediately see the Cleansing Flame, keeping everyone alive and providing that damage that just really helped turn that fight.
So they've already gotten the sidewall down. Punisher showing up, and with this leap, we could see a jump forward here. They only have isolation ready to go, but here it comes. Hedgie warping forward with his Phoenix and not finding anything. He's gonna get locked in and stunned into a wall and killed by Diablo. There's a Lightning Breath looking for even more, but they lose Hedgie on the Maiev and have to back up. OSD not able to finish off this keep.
I think that was a little greedy by the side of OSD. The walls were not down, and even though they did get that one tower, the Diablo needs to be respected. He got that wall bang, and that was an instant deletion on the Maiev. They do have to be careful, though. They are down one person, so This Is Jimmy's looking to invade.
Looking to invade, they are going to finish it, and Diablo gets here in time. Hyperion as well. Always is going to have to give this up. There is the Lornado pushing back Corgi Booty, but Mambi standing strong. They did not actually get to hold on to the camp. It's taken away by This Is Jimmy. Now dragging back Dementia on that Raynor, pops his his E to stay alive, and the dunks are coming forth from Asmodan. He picks up the kill on Phoenix, and they're getting more on Mambi. Dahaka is down a double kill for This Is Jimmy.
You hate to see it, Murda. You hate to see it. 4 into 5, same talent tier. You have to be anchoring. You have to be looking for that engaging. You have to disengage, especially into Diablo that took double Q at 13 and 16. Wall bangs will hurt more than ever now. So OSD kind of paying the price for making that call on that camp, and now they're getting sieged on the bot lane.
Now they're looking to get this wall down. Their first keep they've looked at all game. Of course, remember, mid also took some damage earlier from that camp during the third Punisher spawn. But here, with 2 members still down to Haka and Phoenix, This Is Jimmy is going to get the first keep of the game here in the bottom lane.
This is insane. Can they get another pick, Murda? If they get a pick, do they end the game here? But a Warden's Cage does go out on Maiev with a Lightning Breath coming out. And a 5-man salvo.
Oh, the salvo goes off right before he didn't die. Enigmatic was able to warp to safety, so picking up the kill on Asmodan's huge, and they're gonna get Sonya. She's stuck here, slowed and everything. Corgi Booty leaping forward with that Dwarf Toss, looking for a Storm Bolt, doesn't unleash it yet. Will they be able to catch up here? Can he get in here? Ooh, the Dwarf Toss, can they lock him in? Diablo in a weird spot. These are souls. These are souls he does not want to lose right now. Diablo falling very low and surrounded by blue. And he does die, and his stacks are reset. So huge pickup there on the kill for OSD as another camp pushing down their mid wall.
That is an excellent counter engage by the side of OSD. They needed something to get back into the game. Even though they lost the bottom keep, they got the counter kills, Murda. They reset the game effectively, and now they're ahead. They're going to hit level 20 prior to this shrine spawning, but going forward, they do have to worry about that bot lane pressure. Thankfully, this next Punisher will be pushing in that lane, which will hopefully, if it goes to the side of OSD, counteract the catapults pushing in.
Yeah, up top, Asmo with his generals working down that top fort. Dahaka will be there to retaliate up against that, but I don't think he's making it there in time to save the fort, and indeed, you do see it fall as the shrine is active. OSD on top of it right now. You see, This Is Jimmy up top working on a bruiser camp. That shaman camp will be pushing top lane. Dahaka's up there, but I don't think he's gonna have time to deal with the shaman. The shaman camp. He's gonna have to make it back down here with his brush stock, and we do see him, Mambi, showing up already.
Dahaka did take Contagion at level 20. Let's see if they can get value. Diablo does go in. That's a double wallbang on the Dahaka. Can Mambi survive this? He's rooted, and he goes down too late, but the Diablo does get a counter kill. That's 1 for 1. A Purification Salvo lands. A Lornado is looking to zone from the top lane. This is crazy, Murda. All these resets from the Maiev. They're chasing them down. They're looking for a full team wipe.
Oh, the dunks are starting to hurt as Decker Kane actually got pulled back by Maiev. Hedgie once again making plays. Now cutting off the escape is Corgi Booty and Asmodan. See you later. OSD picking up a quad kill. Now looking to see what they can do on the map. That shaman camp still pushing in the top lane, but OSD has a Khazra camp in the bottom side. They're going to siege forward with it. They're going to look for this keep wall as they know the Punisher's there. They leave Alex Straza behind to finish off the pit. They want to get this wall started. Create the counter catapult pressure in this bottom lane. They need to get this keep down with this Punisher.
This is excellent play, Murda. They are preparing this lane for that Punisher to come in. They actually might be able to take the keep with the siege potential from that Phoenix. Dahaka might actually be clearing that top lane because there is a camp pushing in, but if they can get some picks here and they can push in, they'll end the game.
They're going for everything right here. This Punisher is going to be healthy. They already lost that top keep. It's too late to save it, and OSD says, we need to make a play now. Punisher jumping on top of Michi D's and his Diablo, but here comes OSD looking at the core. Hyperion's going to be on a cooldown when Raynor respawns. He's up right now. He doesn't have it yet. 8 seconds still on that Hyperion, and that's one of their great defensive tools. Here comes Asmodan trying to dunk him down, and Corgi Booty, the first to fall on his Muradin. Here's the Dragon, though, and the Hyperion. They're both trying to get this damage in. 40% on core. Mambi and Hedgie looking to finish off on the top side. 20%. There is the Warden's Cage. Mambi should have enough, and they do. OSD taking game number 1 here in the ReGen Invitational 2 Grand Finals.
What a finish to game number 1, Murda. Those team fights, back and forth throughout the entire game, both teams focusing hard on the macro play. No one there was really ahead of the other team. This game was not a stomp by any means. You see here 17-7 overall at the end of this game. This Phoenix doing an insane amount of damage through the purification salvos and the siege damage altogether.
So a fantastic effort from both sides. The Asmodan doing a tremendous amount of siege damage, keeping that general split, giving them that top keep at the end of the game. But OSD making the gutsy play to jump forward and go with that Punisher onto the core. Potentially could have been the end of the game if they didn't get that push, but they were able to do it. So hats off to OSD making that call there, Reg.
That call was unbelievable with the siege potential that they had, leaving someone back. Dahaka understanding and realizing that he belonged with his team, and they pushed down bot and got the win. Even that win itself was really close. The dragon was popped just at the right time. Double dragon also on that Alexstrasza on Ruby Wings, getting a ton of value there at the very end, Murda.
All right, so that was game number 1. You just witnessed OSD take it on Infernal Shrines. They take the lead in the series 1-0 over This Is Jimmy. We're going to take a short 3 or 4 minute break as we set up the next lobby. You are tuned in to the ReGen Invitational 2 Grand Finals, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with game number 2 of the ReGen Invitational. I just opened up another giveaway for a ReGen sticker. If you missed the other 2 giveaways I've done so far, I will show the sticker once again. If you want to take home one of these fantastic stickers, it's actually a different color, but my green screen is making it look all weird, but it's got the globe on there. It says ReGen. If you want a sticker, enter the giveaway. Greatest Bill just entered. You can enter too by typing !ReGen in the chat. But we're here in lobby. The teams are ready to go. We're going to keep this underway. Ragnnarrok, tell them what map we're going to.
We are going to Volskaya Foundry. Murda, this is insane. This is the second map that we played in round 2 of this tournament. Do you see a pattern building here? Are we going to a Tomb of the Spider Queen next?
I think we might. Teams are telling me they're ready to go, so I'm ready to go. You're ready to go. We're going to go. Map number 2, draft number 2, Volskaya Foundry.
A map that involves rotations, a lot of brawling over control points. I can't wait. This map is full of chaos. Let's see what the teams draft. Things that come to mind for bans here immediately are Chromie, Genji, things that offer zone control. Alex Straza is another great hit on this map. So let's see what This Is Jimmy starts with on the right for our first ban.
All right, so this was the map selection of Corgi Booty, the captain of OSD. They're the ones bringing us to Volskaya Foundry, and first banned is going to be Genji by This Is Jimmy.
That Medivh ban, once again, not surprising. People, again, I don't know who on the team of This Is Jimmy plays that Medivh. It seems targeted, but in general, again, that Medivh can cause a lot of burst denial through his force of will. In fact, all of the burst denial during the duration of that force of will. So an Azmodan ban from the side of This Is Jimmy as well. Let's see what OSD goes with for their last ban in the first phase.
So already taking out the Medivh, they have been banning away Tracer. Will that be the next ban? I would fully assume so, as OSD has shown they don't want to play against that Overwatch hero. So looking at it, it's going to be Rainer. Thank you for the follow. 7th Ace finally slapping the follow button.
All right, so what do we get for first pick on the side of This Is Jimmy? Based on what's been banned, maybe a Urel here. A Hanzo is also very strong on this map with all of the point control. Alex Straza is also still up, so a lot of good options, and it is the Urel.
Shout out to Swing Time in chat, just throwing out 100 bits. She was one of your fantastic casters today. Give a lot of thanks to Swing Time for casting with Falendrith. Did a fantastic job. Swing, very happy to have had you participate today. Thank you so much. Deckard Cain and Murda, the first 2 selections for OSD.
I'm not surprised by this at all. The Deckard and the Murden offering incredible zone control. Not even just zone control, but CC. So you're starting to see that chain build on the left. Not surprising, as mentioned before, Chromie is incredible on this map, and we see it followed up with an Alex Straza. So that Deckard does not have the cleanse for the temporal loop. So let's see how OSD responds.
Well, Deckard Cain can shut down that abundance later on in his talent tree. We'll see if that comes into effect, but having this Chromie is very spooky. Of course, we saw Enigmatic play it before on I believe it was Tomb of the Spider Queen up against Blasting Burrows. No, sorry, it was the first round on Volskaya. It was here on Volskaya, where they're able to win. But having it on the other side, This Is Jimmy looking to keep that ranged attack. They did so well in game number 1 with the Azmodan. This time they're going to try it with a Chromie.
So let's see what this last ban is for the side of This Is Jimmy on the right. It will be a Maiev. Not surprising, that Maiev causing an insane amount of chaos and zone control on the side of OSD. We still have a solo lane pick along with 2 damage dealers. So let's see. Things that come to mind. Phoenix is still up. We have Jaina for blow-up potential. They do need something to get into that backline for that Chromie. So let's see if they pick that in their 3-4.
Rag, I know just the hero that they're going to want to play as we see Thrall and Blaze come forth. Hedgie plays a sick, nasty Valera. Do we see Valera with that 5th pick, Rag?
That's not a bad idea. They have their solo lane picked up. They have a Thrall. Again, both of these characters offer more of that CC chain that they like, that Valera could be what they need to shut down that Chromie and the Alexstrasza, right? A silence during that Dragon transformation or before could be just what they need. And they follow up with the Stitches and a Zul'jin. Wow.
Zul'jin making possibly his first appearance of the tournament here in the grand finals for This Is Jimmy. Is this the answer they need? An auto-attacking Zul'jin, of course, could go into his blade build, more of a mage-style Zul'jin. But there's just one pick left. Is it going to be that Valera for Hedgie? We'll see. This. I mean, this is make or break here for OSD in this draft is this last pick. And it's going to be Tychus.
Tychus, I like the pick a lot. So a couple of things to note there. Tychus will effectively dissolve the Stitches and the Yrel with his minigun trait. More importantly, though, that grenade can and probably should be saved for that Alexstrasza Dragon. That can provide the interrupt for that transformation for up to 10 seconds. So I'll be looking to Enigmatic to make that Alexstrasza's life very difficult this upcoming game.
All right, congratulations to Gravesville, Shui, and Jason. You guys have won a ReGen sticker. Message me on Discord to collect your prize. I just need to get your address so I can mail it out on Monday. Congratulations. Here we are. Volskaya Foundry loading up, and two teams that are a bit different than what we saw in game number 1. The Stitches and the Zul'jin on the side of This Is Jimmy. A very interesting combination of heroes. We'll see if it works out for them.
Looking forward to this match. The blow-up potential for that Chromie is really high. What I think is lacking maybe just a little bit on the side of This Is Jimmy is CC. You can see that through the time trap and through the Stitches, but they don't have something like a Malfurion route to follow up with. So we'll see just how many stacks that Chromie gets and how fast they get them.
On the left-hand side, your Game 1 winners, OSD, Enigmatic, playing that flexing Tychus right now. Trent is going to be on the Deckard Cain, Corgi Booty once again on Murda, and Hedgie switching over to Thrall and Manby, your solo laner for OSD on the Blaze.
And on the right-hand side is This Is Jimmy with Dementia on that Zul'jin, Mitchy D's playing your Stitches, Tiny Rick playing that Chromie, Dan Clan on the support playing Alexstrasza, and Yrel being played by JShifts22.
All right, Tiny Rick on the Tiny Hero. We'll see how he can do stacking up that Q. Let's take a look at your level 1 talents as Zul'jin's going to go for the Headhunter talent. So he's got to get those kills, the takedowns on every hero to finish that quest. We'll see how he does with that one.
And in looking at some of the talents here, nothing is too surprising to me, although the Thrall did take Echo of the Elements and not the Crash Lightning, which makes me think, will he be in the solo lane? No, actually the Blaze is in the solo lane in bot, so not too sure about that pickup. I know in some cases it is hard to complete the Crash Lightning on this map, even with the Brawls, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, perhaps a more health-sustaining style build for Hedgie. Going to be up against that Chromie Blast and might need a bit of extra sustain in some of these fights. Both teams looking at their fortification camps. There's Dan Clan and Dementia working on one side, Hedgie and Manby on the other, trying to rip through to grab these turrets early and often for their teams, which is the perfect way to play Volskaya Foundry.
Excellent rotations happening by both teams and prioritization on the camp. You see Corgi Booty there getting caught in a time trap. Both teams are looking to prioritize that heal camp, but will they take the engage? At the moment, This Is Jimmy is up slightly in experience.
All right, that support camp really is the spot where teams like to battle. Typically, the team who gets level 4 first makes the first move, but both are looking at it and now spotted out by an Hourglass and barely dodging a hook was Corgi Booty. Very close there. Mitchy D's trying to connect on that big fat Stitches hook.
Yrel making a quick rotation to the mid lane and then going back to match that Blaze. It looks like This Is Jimmy is actually starting their siege camp in the top right in anticipation of control point A in the middle. The Chromie is taking some damage from Corgi Booty. Can they get the follow? Can they get the kill?
Oh,
there goes the root.
Big root there by Hedgie helping complete the kill on Chromie, and first blood of the game handed over to OSD. There is a camp taken away up top. That siege camp will be pushing, but there should be plenty of time for OSD to clear it as control point A is spawning. OSD, the Thrall, is sent to go pick up the camp. That's Hedgie. But they got to find someone to clear that top lane. Who's it going to be, Rag?
I think it's actually probably going to be that thrall rotating up, although you do see the 4-man going up there to deal with that. I think that's the right call. Stitches is looking for a hook here, but instead, knowing that top lane is occupied, they're going for the support camp.
Yeah, this is a very smart play. This is Jimmy knowing where their opponents are, making the aggressive move on the support camp. Alexstrasza's here keeping Zul'jin alive as he's using his trait to reduce his health, increase his basic attack damage. They rip right through it, get that biotic emitter, and here we go. Control point A is up. Blaze and Murda already here. That camp pushing up top for OSD. Keep an eye on that because that can start working through that top fort wall. But the fight is going on, and Jet propulsioning forward as Mambi trying to lock in Stitches now with that scroll of sealing. Is Deckard Cain. The biotic emitter had to be used, as well as the dragon form from Alexstrasza, and smartly backing up is going to be OSD.
That hook missing Hedgie and Trent, barely Murda. I love the disengage here by OSD, waiting for that dragon to end, and it looks like both teams are actually looking for level 7. Yrel is in the top lane currently clearing that camp. She's on her way back, does not have Divine Steed yet. We'll see what she picks. Corgi Booty does get hooked in the middle, but jettisons out. The teams are resetting, getting that additional turret camp. Is OSD on the left, and they're going to push back in.
And this is Jimmy looking to pick up their fortification camp as well. Both teams knowing how important these turrets can be, as the first one is finally expired now. For this is Jimmy as Stitches being found out, jet propulsion, and on top is the entire team of OSD. Mitchie D's in big trouble, and they're going to find blood on Stitches. That's the first kill in the fight, and OSD is going to take control of point A. Will they be able to walk in 15 seconds until Stitches respawns? And likely this will be handed over to OSD, the first Triglav of the game.
That is the CC chain we were talking about, Murda. That Blaze follow-up, that Thrall Wolf, all starting with that Murda engage and ending with that Scroll of Sealing and the Sapphire. If this is Jimmy, gets engaged on like that, it's going to be tough for them to escape. Already you see the mid wall taking serious damage going down, and it looks like OSC is going to be looking to the top lane.
Yeah, they get that wall. That's what we've seen all day. Ooh, big hook barely missing there on Corgi Booty as the Triglav is marching up to this top side. They want to get this well down. We've seen OSD play this map already today. They have this prioritization on getting these wells down, and that's really, once again, the way you got to play this map. You got to be thinking about the next control point. Taking a lot of damage, though, from Zul'jin is this robot, and I don't know if they're going to have the damage in here to work down this well. They're going to do a little bit of damage onto the fort, but that's it. The Triglav Protector has expired. They do take a level lead, though. OSD looking good so far.
I love the fact that Blaze and Yrel were still bot lane, soaking experience, looking to that level 10. It does look like this is Jimmy did close out some of the experience gap here in the last couple of seconds, so they're not as far behind as they should be. They did lose 2 walls a little bit in the top, actually. That well is still up. It could be problematic. But as you mentioned before, that Zul'jin did take Arcanite axes at level 7, so this is where it begins. That Zul'jin is going to start stacking. Those axes will continue to do continued damage the more they hit throughout the game. Let's see how painful this gets, Murda.
So OSD trying to be patient, but knowing the support camp is here, they don't want to give up too much room. They just want their level 10s, and then they want to take this fight over the support camp so they can get the XP at mid. Now level 10's online for OSD, and they're looking to take this fight as they're clicking in an Odin and Avatar. They get the kill on Chromie, and now can easily march towards this support camp and steal away the heal item.
That was a great play by OSD, recognizing that the Chromie was just a little too far forward. Again, the Murda Dwarf tossing and engaging with the Q, and no heroics for used Murda, none at all. You'll notice that the Thrall there, holding his level 10 talent, trying to figure out and decide, do I take the Earthquake or do I take the Sundering? Both can get a lot of value into the enemy team, and will just continue that CC chain and that insane ability to control the enemy team.
So we do see that is the Taz Dingo coming out from Zul'jin, and now with full information, we'll see if Hedgie wants to make his decision. Of course, he could just hold it, wait for the moment, whether it's jumping into the middle, dropping an Earthquake, or looking for that heavy engage with the Sunder. He's still holding that selection, so keep an eye out, viewers, to see where that goes, as another fight is potentially breaking out here at mid. Corgi Booty jumping forward is not in range for the Stormbolt. Hook gonna miss from Mitchie D's. Now backing up to safety after missing the engage attempt is OSD.
Great disengage, and there again by OSD, they're up almost a full level in experience, recognizing that they have to dodge that hook. Stitches did take Putrid Bile, so you don't really have to worry too much about that particular game, but again, these teams understanding how painful and how detrimental it would be to get hooked and to get picked right before the start of the shrine.
Yeah, still have that 3/4 level lead as OSD. Here comes Urel on the flank, jumping on top of Trent and Hedgie. Here comes the stay a while and listen, locking in a few members. But Corgi, he's pretty low, has to use his avatar. Now even lower, even through his avatar, he's going to fall. Trent, though, ripping through some shielding there along with Enigmatic on Urel. She's going to survive. Stand in the abundance, and for the first time in this game, a kill for This Is Jimmy. They use a turret, but they have control over control point B.
What a good heads-up play by This Is Jimmy, realizing that the Blaze was not with them, engaging past that front line, and securing that kill. I'm curious to know if that heal camp should have been dropped. Trent still held onto it, and I believe still has it, so the Murda is coming back. Deckard also did a full back for mana. It looks like OSD might be level 13 right before this control point fight.
Yeah, especially if they get that top wave. Blaze finishes that wave there. Oh, big hook on Corgi, but that's Murda. He does have a dwarf toss, and he will survive for now. Now look at this level 13s for OSD. Talents on your screen right now. Watch us engage. This Is Jimmy does not want this fight at all. They are backing straight up, and OSD taking over control of point B.
These axes are starting to hurt Murda. Let's see. That Zuljin has 10 stacks of Yuan axe and 15 currently of Arcanite axes, if this is accurate. Chromie's also sitting at 37 stacks of her Sandblast, so that damage is starting to hurt, but let's see if OSD can keep this control point, especially now with This Is Jimmy hitting level 13.
Another great hook there by Mitchie D's, pulling back Corgi booty. There's plenty of these potions sitting in here around the point. Of course, Murda, a hero that can regenerate himself. Bottom side, Urel, so far from her team. It looks like This Is Jimmy is willing to give this up, and Corgi Booty smells what's going on, jumping into the support camp spot. They're going to lock in Stitches with that scroll of sealing, and here's the Odin trying to rip through. There's a life binder keeping Stitches alive for now. Urel's falling low, though, and the bunker is protecting a lot of damage on the side of OSD. They're alive for now, and Chromie, the one in trouble, has to use her timeout, but when she awakens, it is a swarm of blue waiting to send her to base, and that's a kill for OSD. Now 4-1 in this game, and looking at it, it's been Blaze picking up 2, Thrall with 1, Deckard Kane with 1, 4 on the board for OSD.
Chromie was not long for this world, Murda. I thought the Stitches was dead there, but that life binder pick so strong from that Alex Straza. We do have the Pacify picked up at level 13, which might be able to help with that Tychus, but an excellent play from OSD, and they get this Triblock Protector.
Triglav gonna be huge. They're gonna be able to finish off this fort, make a rotation around the map, and we'll see what they want to do, but we've seen them prioritize that bottom side to make sure they're set up for control point C. We'll see if that's what they want to do here. Thrall leading the way on this rotation. Blaze already at the bottom, has a wave pushed up on the wall. Urel's there in response, but this Triglav looking to get the free XP here at mid, and they want to get this fort down, ripping through his Tychus and Deckard inside that Triglav Protector, and they're going to get this fort with ease. Still 51 seconds and 85% health on this robot, Rag.
I love the fact that they're making this rotation to bot now. They're looking for the value on the map. The next Triglav Protector will spawn at point C, which is in the bot lane, so this should be enough for them to get level 16 Murda off this push.
Yeah, and they're definitely getting this Moonwell here. It is down. The next thing in line is this fort. There's a slowing stance from Chromie being played. 25 seconds, 45% health on this Triglav. It's getting ripped through right now by the Zul'jin, and they're going to have to play a little bit carefully. There's the bunker from Manby. He's getting in and out of it, getting that armor bonus, but that's all they're going to get here, Rag. They just need to make sure they don't lose any lives, because so close to level 16 is OSD, and they do not want to take a fight just yet.
Excellent disengage right now, Murda, by OSD. They are looking for 16. This one wave in the mid should get it to them. Again, that Moonwell being so powerful. OSD is now getting their fortification camp in the mid left. The camp on the right is not going to be up for another minute, so I think that's a great play. Can they find more value on the map, especially with their 16 advantage?
Yeah, so level 16s are online. There's a jump stun from Corgi Booty, locking in this Murda. Lifebinder out on him, and he will get a full heal. What a great job by Dan Clan playing that Alex Straza, keeping her Stitches alive as Stitches gonna hook back Manby on that Blaze. He's in trouble. Here's the Bile and charging forward to Stitches, but everyone from OSD knows what's going on. Stay a while and listen. Trent making sure OSD's back to safety.
The Blaze did not have the bunker up during that team fight. What an excellent stay a while disengage by Trent. OSD is still ahead in level lead right now at 16, but with a couple more waves and a good rotation, This Is Jimmy will catch up, and they should be 16 right in time for that bottom control point.
We do have to note Chromie has completed her Sandblast quest. Her baseline quest is at 61 stacks, so the damage from her will start to hurt here. And Zul'jin's still working on his. He only has one stack on his Headhunter. Thank you for that follow, Slexia. And thank you for watching the ReGen Invitational 2 Grand Finals. Here we go on top of this support camp. Stitches walking forward. Doesn't have that Bile quite yet. 5 seconds on the cooldown. There's the Biotic Emitter being dropped. They're working on getting the other one, Lifebinder. Once again, OPS hell on top of Stitches, giving him all his health back. And on the backside, it's Hedgie. He got shrunk down by Alex Straza, and he had to hop in that bunker, hopping in and out, actually. Jet Propulsion, though, locking into inside that Abundance and looking at the kill, but the heal goes off, and a living is Jay Shifts, but finally falling is Jay Shifts. The Odin is here as well, looking to finish off Zul'jin. It does, a 2-for-1 for OSD, and they're working to finish the support camp the whole time. We're still whacking away, and Stitches is saying, I'm staying in this fight. You guys do not have Murda. This is ours. As the Stay a While and Listen is played once again, they're not wanting to kill this boss. They finally do. Maybe a misstep there as Tychus hooked in and killed Mitchie D's with a big hook there for This Is Jimmy.
I have no idea how OSD survived as long as they did. That Chromie poke was just insane. The Blaze engaged into the backline, stunning 3 of them, but it was still not enough. Thrall tried to get on that Chromie, but Chromie sidestepped that Wolf and made it out to the right. Excellent play by This Is Jimmy, restabilizing the game just a little bit, taking that heal camp in preparation for that bottom control point, which will spawn in the next 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was enormous that This Is Jimmy was able to take that biotic emitter. Picking up the kills was a bonus. Just having the emitter is amazing as control point C spawning. They're grabbing their fortification camp and the turret right now. Top lane, we already see a siege camp pushing for This Is Jimmy, and OSD still working on theirs, so they're going to be late to the party, and setting up on control point C is going to be Stitches and This Is Jimmy.
All ultimates are up, minus that Odin, which will be ready just in time for this team fight. The control point C on this map tends to be the craziest with the double conveyor belts. Let's see how OSD engages here.
So moving forward is Corgi Booty looking to get the jump stun off on Stitches, misses the Stormbolt. Mitchie D gets 5 for now. Jet Propulsion to keep him locked in, but remember, that Lifebinder is still ready to go, and there it comes. Dan Clan gonna get Stitches back up to full. Earthquake used by Hedgie, and here comes the Odin. Corgi Booty has to back up Biotic Emitter on the ground for This Is Jimmy, and they're looking very healthy. OSD starting to back up. They use a turret as well. Manby is here doing what he can, but the damage just isn't enough yet. There is a Stay a While and Listen, but right back awake is Stitches, and this time no Lifebinder. Mitchie D's will fall. OSD finding the damage through all of that chaos there on control point C.
I cannot stress enough how insane these bunkers are. That bunker allowed Hedgie to avoid that damage from the Chromie and escape to the left, gaining that armor that allowed him to sustain through that fight and to reset. That re-engage onto the Stitches there on the conveyor belt was incredible, Murda.
So OSD in control, sitting at 92%. This one is 100% going over to them. Triglav number 3, and all 3 have belonged to OSD as they push down this bottom lane, looking to take their first stab at one of these keep walls, Rag.
This is insane. This fort here gets them 19. They're well on their way to level 20. Blaze in the mid lane, picking up that soak. Let's see how far they can get in. Can they get the keep here? Or is that a bit too adventurous? We'll see. The whole team is up. It is a 5v5 with the Triglav Protector in play. Chromie doing her absolute best to chunk the teams and continue stacking. She's currently at 84 stacks.
84 stacks, and the Seasoned Marksman or excuse me, you want Axe completed finally by Zul'jin. Triglav's here though. They're trying to get the poke style damage with it. They're not pushing all the way forward, knowing that that Bile's still online. There's plenty of damage that Zul'jin can do if it's thrown in the right spot. Corgi Booty up front with the Triglav now, and here's the Bile from Stitches, trying to get all the extra damage on top, and this keep is going to survive. Corgi Booty barely making out Hook, going to hit the butt of the robot, and getting back to safety for the time being is OSD. The robot explosion will push back the members of This Is Jimmy, and everyone from OSD will survive, as well as that keep also surviving, Rag. Huge that This Is Jimmy was able to make that defense.
Excellent disengage once again by OSD, recognizing that if they were to go down here, This Is Jimmy could counter push and counter engage into their structures. To this very moment, OSD has not lost one fort, and they just got a level 20 advantage, which means, as is customary, they are invading. They are invading and contesting that support camp, and I think This Is Jimmy just needs to play for 20 at this point. They're only half a level away, couple more waves to go. The next control point, again, is in the middle of the map. The unfortunate thing here is there is no fort protection. There still is a Moonwell. Maybe OSC will recognize that, but still no cata pressure in any lanes, Murda.
That siege camp's been pushing since before control point C in the top lane. Am I wrong?
Oh, you are totally right.
Is that the same one?
I think it might be the same one.
So that's... Oh wait, no, they must have just picked it up actually. Did I miss
Actually,
that?
I think you're right. I think we might have actually missed that.
They did. They just picked it up. Okay. I was about to
But
say
if
that
you
would have been
look-
really bizarre.
Yeah, if you look here in the bot lane, though, Decker did take Bottomless Flask at 20, so they are posturing here. They do have 20 advantage. So do they push in here? Do they try to get this keep down? Let's see what they can do. There goes the Odin with the upgrade at level 20.
Big red button gonna try to do work onto this keep, falling very low, having to pop the Taz Dingo and get the life finder is Zul'jin. He is alive, but the big red button is starting to rip through this keep, and OSD is likely about to get this Corgi Booty, getting hooked forward, has the dwarf toss back to safety, and finally, with that big nuke from the Odin, the first keep of the game is destroyed by OSD.
If the Zul'jin or the Stitches there had fallen, I think that would have been a GG. Once again, that life finder being the absolute playmaker, keeping that Zul'jin sustained after that Taz Dingo went off. Had that not happened and had that not been recognized, that could have been game murder. But This Is Jimmy lives to fight another day. OSD going to the top lane to clear that camp. They still have their own camp of their own, but the game is now equalized. Both teams are level 20. Let's see what they can do.
They're working on their siege camp. They got to clear up this top lane, and This Is Jimmy knows what's going on, so they're going to start working on some structures here at mid, getting rid of this well. And now with so much damage coming out of Zul'jin, they're able to rip through a lot of the health on that mid fort. Corgi Booty getting hooked once again, but that's not the target This Is Jimmy wants. He has the dwarf toss back to safety. Control point alpha spawns in 10 seconds, Rag, as This Is Jimmy's looking to grab another turret, and there we see Tychus on the other side grabbing another turret for OSD.
Interesting pick by the Promi at level 18. Pocket of Time, increasing the slow of that slowing sands from 60 to 80% and removing the mana cost. So excellent zoning potential you see here, but Corgi Booty just walks right through it.
Walking through it as well as Tychus. He's very slow, but finally makes it through. The percentage is ticking up for This Is Jimmy, but finally control is neutralized by OSD as the jet propulsion was huge. There's Taz Dingo with the life finder once again, and Zul'jin will survive, but the earthquake is slowing everyone down from any sort of escape. They find what looks like a Yarel all by herself. Can they get the damage on top? Stay a while and listen to separate the team as the Ardent Defender will start moving Yarel back to safety. Oh! Alex Straza falling on the back end. Enigmatic with that Odin finding a huge kill on the support of This Is Jimmy.
Excellent engage by OSD there. Again, Manby absolutely crushing it on that Blaze, stunning the team out. They're leaving one person here on the shrine, that's Corgi Booty, on the control point, excuse me, and going up north to take that heal camp. There were catapults pushing in the bot lane, so the This Is Jimmy had to go back and clear them. So let's see if they can find an engage. Another Stitches hook missed, unfortunately, there.
8-3 in kills. I'm going to throw up the kills on your board, Blaze and Thrall with 3 apiece. OSD looking good here, still no support, and OSD says you can't step that far forward without your Alex Straza stitches, because the only thing that saved you so far is Lifebinder. Mitchie D in big trouble. Yarel's already fallen, has to use his bile back to safety, and having that kill right there on Yarel is going to give a huge opportunity for OSD to not look at a keep, but Ragnnarrok, they want to look at this core.
They are looking to end the game, Murda, and I cannot stress enough, that Emerald from Decker denying so much healing throughout the game starting at level 7 is absolutely ridiculous. That Triglock Protector attacking the core, no Urel to zone people off. It is going down far, Corgi is taking a lot of damage, but I don't think this is going to be enough. The core is at 40%, 30%, falling. Zuljin goes down, and that's it. GG. OSD going up 2-0 in this best of 5, Murda.
Game 2, OSD. They already won game 1, so ladies and gents, they are sitting at a comfortable 2-0 lead here in the grand finals of this best of 5 set. And having that sort of lead means now they can relax, take a breath, and just continue their onslaught through this event. They are yet to drop a map the entire day. This is Jimmy is the only thing in their path of winning the $100 grand prize for their team, and they just got to win one more map, Reg.
They do. One super cool thing to see here, just to go along with that CC chain, I have to applaud that Deckard, not only with the zone control provided by that 1 in 7, but that Scroll of Stone Curse, 200 extra damage when hitting 2 heroes. That Deckard by the end of that game sitting at 40k hero damage. That is, I don't know, not normal in most cases. You shouldn't do that much, but again, because of the chain, because of this draft, the zone control draft, they just couldn't escape. Once they got the lockdown on someone, they were dead.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, OSD is up 2-0, and we are potentially heading to our final match of the night. You are tuned in to twitch.tv/MurdaRG watching the ReGen Invitational 2 Grand Finals. We will be back in 4 minutes for the potential conclusion, unless if we see a bit of a turnaround here from This Is Jimmy. So hang tight, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 4. See you later. Oh, I didn't full screen you. Ah, damn it. Damn you, Rag. All right, we're back. Game 3, grand finals, OSD. This is Jimmy. Could be the end of the night, the end of the day, what has been a long day. We've been here since 3 p.m. Eastern. We are entering the 8th hour, 9th hour, I guess.
8th hour. You were right the first
8th hour?
time.
Okay, 8th hour. 8th hour of the day. It's been a fantastic evening. I want to give a shout out to my entire team who has participated in this event today. All of you know who you are, but my casters, they did such a great job. If you don't follow them already, make sure you do. And let me get you a full list here because, again, these guys did such an amazing job all day and they deserve all the accolades. So as myself and Ragnnarrok here on the mainstream, we had Professor Bobo and Gravesville doing the semifinals all the way up through there. We had Bahamut Gaming, who's actually our observer for these grand finals. He was paired up with Cat Peach. We had Swing Time as well as Falendrith on another cast. And rounding it out was Recurring Fear and Ripper Hots, who joined us for the early rounds. Without the other 9 casters that joined me today, this event would not have gone on. So huge shout out to you guys. Another huge shout out to our admins, Red and Aura, who not only helped today, but helped set this event up, did an amazing job. If you see them, huge shout out. Shout out to the NGS staff. Shout out to our art team, Crow, Tax1K, and Captain Snail doing a great job, and Weenus for making our intro video. That was so amazing. And before we get into this last game, or what could be the last game, I want to make sure we get to air this video one more time. So take a look, give a shout out to Weenus, and once we see this, we're going to be launching off into game number 3. All right, so that was it, the intro video. Weenus, if you're in chat, thank you once again. You did a fantastic job. We are in lobby. Looks like finally we have a ready from This Is Jimmy. Let me find out if OSD is ready as well, and we're going to kick off game number 3, and we are headed to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, Rag, you mentioned before, you said, is this a pattern forming? Game 1 was Infernal Shrines. That was our round number 1 today. Game number 2 was Volskaya Foundry. That was our round number 2 today. And this, Tomb of the Spider Queen, was our round number 3. So they're bringing us back to what this ReGen Invitational started with.
This is pretty crazy. There are a lot of maps in the HGC pool, but these teams feeling comfortable here. And I'm super excited, Murda. I love all 3 of these maps for different reasons. We start with a ban on Genji from This Is Jimmy.
Smart ban. We've seen it frequently today, and if we didn't see the ban, we saw Genji dominate matches. I think he's, at least on our streams, has he lost a game? Trying to think back. I think he's won most of them at least. He did lose. Blasting Burrows had Genji game number 1 against OSD. Genji did lose there. However, he's been very dominant today as we see yet another Medivh ban by OSD.
Not surprising again, it seems to be their ban of choice in this particular phase. Again, I've played against really good Medivhs. I think this ban is well warranted. It can turn the tides very easily. This is Jimmy following up with a Urel ban.
This has been a pattern. We've seen Urel, they chose her last game, but she's been highly prioritized, either in the ban or that first pick phase. And this time it's going to be a ban, and it's going to be by This Is Jimmy, as the final ban is going to be Sir Jim Raynor III. And, I mean, when a team's named after Jim, you just ban him out, right?
Do they? Yes, the answer is always yes, right? That's instant tilt, right? That team on the right must feel totally enraged. I was just going to say, I couldn't get it out. First pick Azmodan, not surprising on this particular map, Murda.
Yeah, pretty happy. They played the Azmodan in game number 1. It was pretty solid. They've used it in the semifinals to win that final game up against ReGen Black, and you see them picking it here in their first slot. And they're going to rely on Azmodan to make it happen for them. But again, they lost in the first game with the Asmo. Can OSD have a repeat performance taking Alexstrasza and Johanna?
Shoutouts to Bahamut, our resident Azmodan one trick. I know that behind the scenes he is screaming with excitement at that Azmodan pick. Alexstrasza Johanna incredibly strong on this map, and we're followed up with a Deckard. And what else, Murda? What else is left here? Maybe that Murda, and we've been seeing him a lot today. Nope, they go with the Blaze in the off lane.
So I believe that is okay. Just 2 games in a row with the Blaze. Oh wait, no. Last game it was OSD that had the Blaze. So switching hands. Okay, but he's made an appearance either in a ban or a pick in every game in this series. Blaze is taken by This Is Jimmy, putting OSD on the clock for their final ban of the draft, and it will be Phoenix.
I think that's an excellent ban. Phoenix has shown dominance in this particular series and in the meta in general. This is a great map for him. He offers a lot of wave clear. I'm actually expecting to see a wave clear ban or a solo lane ban on the side of This Is Jimmy. Let's see what they go with, Murda.
Final ban for This Is Jimmy. 5 seconds on the clock. They've already taken Asmo, Deckard, and Blaze, and they need to find a way to counter what they might try to do against them, and Leoric's going to be the answer. They do not want to see Leo up against her Blaze in that solo lane.
So what does OSD go at this point? The Maiev is actually still up. We saw that wreak havoc with the first game, I believe. So Maiev Jaina. Oh my god, damn, I'm good. Maiev Jaina. That is a classic combo that we've seen run in the past. I've run it before as well. The idea here is to Warden's Cage and drop that Ring of Frost right inside. You can follow up, if you so desire, with that Alexstrasza Cleansing Flame. Again, we saw that in Game 1 on Infernal Shrines. You try to sustain that Maiev through the damage, but This Is Jimmy is responding with a Muradin, who again can interrupt that Alexstrasza, and the Maiev along with a Hanzo. Excellent poke, excellent zone control on this map. Let's see what that last pick for OSD is. It's going to be their solo lane, Murda.
Muradin and Hanzo are very strong. Hanzo can be devastating on this map. We saw Hanzo earlier able to kind of rip through a boss quickly when the team was showing in the bottom lane. So stealing away that boss can be huge. Final pick for OSD, it's going to be Sonya.
I like the Sonya pick here. I think if they had taken something like a Malthael, the Blaze would have just bunkered the last right. So I don't think that's necessarily the right pick, even into the high health pools. But Sonya can provide a lot of pressure with Leap into that backline. Let's see how this plays out.
All right, so everyone's here, ready to go. This could be the final match of the day. OSD leading 2-0 currently over This Is Jimmy, and This Is Jimmy, they have to put it on the line here. They cannot leave anything for question, or else they're going home in second place. And OSD, after losing last year in the ReGen Invitational Grand Finals, could go home as your grand champions.
I don't know, Murda. This is going to be a little insane. I think the kill pressure and kill potential of the side of OSD is pretty terrifying. Again, Maiev allowing for a lot of that disruption, starting at the very first part of the game with that Umbral Bind, pulling back targets, preventing that Muradin as well from pretty much escaping in general. So we'll see what happens.
All right, on the left-hand side, it's OSD. They're up 2-0, and the captain, Corgi Booty, will be playing Johanna. Enigmatic on Jaina. Trinth going to be playing Alexstrasza Manby on the Sonya. And once again, as in game number 1, the substitute, Hedgie, on that Maiev.
And looking for that reverse sweep is This Is Jimmy on the right-hand side. We have Dementia playing that Blaze in the solo lane, Mitchy D's on that Muradin, Dan Clan playing the Deckard Kane, Tiny Rick reprising his Hanzo, and J Shifts 22 on that Azmodan.
All the marbles on the line here in game number 3. OSD looking to become grand champions. And level 1, we're seeing a lot of familiar talents we've seen today. Of course, level 1 is a simple geometry from Hanzo. But block chosen here by Sonya up against a Blaze in the solo lane. See if she can use that, possibly going into her Whirlwind build. What are your thoughts potentially on the Whirlwind build, Ram?
I think that build is okay. If I remember correctly, it does remove roots and slows. I think that's a good counterplay into the Deckard. I could be mistaken. I don't play Sonya particularly often, but I think it's a good pick here. One thing to mention, though, the Bonds of Justice was taken by Maiev at level 1, which means we can start getting a lot of value into that as that damage begins ramping up.
Yeah, we'll see. He's got to get those secondary targets on normal bind, and falling first is going to be Corgi Booty. For the first time in this grand finals, not on Murd, and this time Johanna, one of her greatest maps, will fall first, and first blood belongs to This Is Jimmy.
You see again the Alex Raza electing into the W talent at 1, Circle of Life, over the Q talent. Again, this particular map, great for rotations. Teams, in general, the 4-man goes from mid to top with the solo laners in the bot lane, so relatively easy to get your globes. You see Jaina as well went Fingers of Frost, also another questing talent, so let's see how quickly they can complete them. But with that kill, This Is Jimmy pulls slightly ahead in experience.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. These globe quests on Tomb of the Spider Queen are so easy to complete, so they get them done early. Hedgie making a sneaky play down here onto this siege camp, and I don't know if Blaze even knows that she walked down this way. We'll see if it gets alerted from the rest of the members of This Is Jimmy that they're missing eyes on Maiev, but so far so good for Hedgie down there.
Absolutely. Playing with that vision, making sure that the enemy team did not see that rotation down bot, and OSD also playing the game, even though they did let a couple of the gems get turned in by the side of This Is Jimmy, still largely in control of the waves with that Jaina hitting level 4.
Ooh, great job there by Manby. I don't know if you guys at home saw that, but he was like stutter stepping and holding his action to make sure that wave held in spot. A very veteran move, making sure that Blaze is not able to get positioning in that lane, and Sonya is able to continue winning it. Now we see Blaze having to use a well tap there.
The off rotations as well, or the rotational advantage of the team of OSD, is also preventing this Azmodan from stacking the way he wants. 3 minutes into the game, he's sitting at 20 stacks. Normally that's a little bit higher, but the teams aren't really looking to fight right now.
Level 5 apiece. OSD doing a great job in these rotations, making sure that kill didn't cost them in the XP department. Bottom lane, though, it's such a talking point because once again, Sonya's ripping through that health bar of Blaze. I'm trying to keep an eye on it up on the top of your screen, and Sonya's been able to win most of that pretty dominantly so far. I know they had that siege camp helping for a bit, but it's giving room now for OSD to consider looking for turn-ins. They have a night camp mid as well. Mamby's already gotten his gems in, so they're looking for their turn-in as they have enough on hand.
Absolutely, and one of the other things to mention in general about the composition of OSD is they have excellent wave clear. The Azmodan is counter-engaging here. Let's see if they can get a pick. No, it's not enough, Murda.
Yeah, natural agility able to get Hanzo over the wall. He was in trouble. Murda was in trouble, but of course Mitchy D's has that dwarf toss back to safety. Here go the gem turn-ins. Enigmatic looking to get his in on that Jaina, but will be shut down and didn't get him in. Fight breaking out up top, and it looks like Enigmatic will get back to safety.
Hedgie playing the defense there, getting the Umbral Bind on that Murden, preventing that Stormbolt from coming out, saving the life of that Jaina and those 15 gems. Are they going to look for a team fight here? Hedgie is looking for that engage in the back. The Shadow does go out, but he does not proc the teleport. It looks like they're safe for now. This is Jimmy hitting level 7, followed directly just now by OSD. Both teams have turn-in. Let's see who gets it in first. Enigmatic looking potentially for that turn-in in bot, but the Hanzo is right there.
Yeah, both teams level 7, and defense is so strong from Hanzo, and Sonya is going to say, I don't want you doing that, and here comes Blaze on that bottom side with the jet propulsion, and Tiny Rick's going to walk forward and make sure that Sonya will not have her way up against Blaze. Trading out damage though, Enigmatic trying to drop these gems off still, but Deckard Cain keeping an eye on this bottom egg spawner.
So as you predicted, Murda, the Sonya did go into the Hurricane. Not only does that get value into the Deckard, but as you just saw in the bot lane, it gets value into the oil from the Blaze, preventing V-Slow and OSD finding turn in the top lane.
Huge, but falling is Sonya. Hanzo showed up. T-Tors on that one. Apologies to you in Twitch chat. That is the second kill of the game for This Is Jimmy, and with blue web weavers, that's going to give them plenty of opportunity to get a free clear on some of these. We'll see what happens mid side. It's Murda being locked in, but Dwarf tossing out the safety. I don't see how OSD gets much value out of this Rag.
I don't think so, not with that pick. Sonya being unable to push that bot lane, Blaze defending it. They are 4-man pushing in the mid. That port wall, had actually taken damage from the siege camp prior to this engage. So they are looking for towers. They are looking to stabilize the experience that was lost when that Sonya went down in the bot lane. So that wall will go down in the top lane. Azmodan is doing Azmodan things, and he cleared that without a problem. The entire keep wall, or fort wall, taking damage but still staying up.
Okay, so This Is Jimmy having basically their first lead of the grand finals right now. They're looking to grab their knights and then likely gonna make their way over to the turn-in. They have 77 gems on hand, 16 in the bank. So more than enough to get web weavers down, and potentially could get a double turn-in by the time all is said and done. Here's Hedgie once again sneaking this bottom siege camp. Knights finally spawn though, and This Is Jimmy's going to make their way to this bottom turn-in with their level 10s, looking for a fight and looking for a turn-in, Reg.
OSD has to be very careful. This Is Jimmy just hit level 10. They need to be careful to not get engaged on, but getting level 10 requires one more wave. They're so close. Blaze is turning in the bot lane, 33 gems. Will they get it in without interruption? Yes, they do, Murda.
Yeah, that shield glare just a moment too late by Corgi Booty. Red web weavers have been spawned, and I can't see how many gems they have on hand. Quick math looks like at least 55 there, just in these 4 heroes standing in middle, so they have enough for a back-to-back turn, and if they can make that sort of thing happen. But sieging through mid, the knights are going to be killed off by OSD, but the web weaver is right behind it. Here it is with 4 members of This Is Jimmy looking to siege down this mid wall.
That is a Lornado pick, Murda. I really hope OSD realizes that if they step up, they might get pushed back into the enemy team, so they have to tread lightly here.
Yeah, they're playing safe. Abundance behind the wall. Alex Straza keeping members healthy, but Deckard Cain being such a little harasser with these scrolls of the ceiling, making sure that no one's able to really walk through comfortably. They finally are able to clear up the web weaver, but they lose their wall, both the towers. Manby down on the bottom, going to try to clear up that web weaver. Blaze is kind of low and can't do too much there, but this top web weaver still healthy and still sieging forward as This Is Jimmy.
The amount of siege that just happened in the mid and top lane is insane. Thankfully, it looks like bottom has been cleared, mid is getting cleared, and in terms of experience, OSD isn't too far behind. Can they find the counter engage here with an Umbral Bind? There's the bind back. Does the Warden's Cage go out?
Bless Shield and Water Elemental were used early in this fight, and they're finding damage on Murda, and he's low, and that's the Cleansing Flame there by OSD, picking up a kill on Murden, their first of the game. I don't think This Is Jimmy lost. Oh, they did lose gems. Okay. So that's a huge turning point too, because now OSD has gems. This Is Jimmy doesn't. They're going to have to play defense on this turning point. But Enigmatic, Corgi Booty, is their math correct? Do they have enough? No, they're going to need Trinth as well. But here comes Dementia on that play. He's getting Umbral Binded back, and we'll have to give it up until Azmodan. Duncan forth, interrupting yet again. So OSD having trouble getting gems in this bottom turn-in.
That Murden is well on his way back. Excellent job by This Is Jimmy to deny that turn in. And again, the teams are neck and neck in experience. This team fights, these engages can go either way, Murda.
Yeah, nice grab by OSD, and usually that signals that teams want to get their gems turned in. So we'll see if OSD can make it to this turn in. Looks like Tiny Rick's trying to get a few in, and a few on the bottom side too, but they don't have enough yet. They're still 2 away as This Is Jimmy, and Corgi Booty holds more than enough on himself to get the rest of the blue web weavers spawned. We'll see if they leave him open, but Sonic Arrow will interrupt it, and here comes a fight at mid. Neither team level 13 yet, but OSD knows they're slightly behind on XP, and they want to either get this turn in or get this fight before This Is Jimmy picks up that talent tier. Corgi Booty in trouble, 42 gems, has to back up, gets a mini stun there by the Murda, and he's just not going to be able to find his way to the turn-in. Just great defense so far.
That Hanzo being the most annoying hero, just lobbing arrow after arrow into that choke point, continually making sure those interruptions get. There's a giant arrow, it does miss.
Barely sidestepping with Jaina. There is a huge Warden's Cage, and we saw this in game number 1 that Hedgie was ripping him through, but the bunker keeping members alive, and they're, oh, okay, it is Asmodan falling, but OSD's pushing forward. Dan Clan's now down. Mitchie D's is gonna fall, and Dementia getting Umbral binded back. This could be at least a triple. Do they find this Blaze? Is he able to be captured? Jumping over the wall with that natural agility is Hanzo, and making it away to safety is the Blaze, but OSD picking up a triple kill.
Is that sustain of the cleansing flame we were talking about, Murda. Again, Lifebinder is the pick a lot of the times, but with the Maiev, with that engage and with that collapse of the entire team, that cleansing flame is such a powerhouse. Keeping everyone alive.
Sneaking turn in. Oh, they get there in time. Yeah,
Do they get these picks, Murda? That's the Maiev pulling everyone back, keeping them there. This may have been a mistake.
Jet Propulsion was huge, though. A sneaky, quick little Jet Propulsion, going to give them just enough time to get back to safety. Hanzo's going to use his Hearth, but here come the Blue Web Weavers and OSD with the lead in this game, the lead in this series. They're looking to start sieging down the remainder of these forts that are hanging out on the middle side of this map and potentially take one down and start looking at keeps at this time in the game.
Lane pressure is pretty even overall. The one thing to mention is there was a siege camp taken in the bot lane, so that will be pushing and lets us clear it up. Thankfully, Blaze is down there, but that means that This Is Jimmy is going to be taking a 4v5 into this Webweaver push. With enough siege potential in the top here, we're looking at level 16, Murda.
And OSD knows it. They know Blaze is down there, so watch Hedgie has that Warden's Cage. If he finds a target, here he goes, trying to run up the top side. He's going to look for something here, but will he be able to lock anyone in? Decker Kane walking forward, throwing out his Roger Cube, trying to slow everyone down, but Corgi Booty has no fear. He is that Johanna and has so much health sustained with his iron skin. Mitchie D's falling low, has a Dwarf Toss back to safety, but OSD, look at that, taking down the fort and looking for a bit more. They have a wave of minions. They have a bit of this Web Weaver still here. Hanzo's at mid, Blaze is at bottom, and they have potential to continue this push in the top lane.
This siege is so powerful. The Web Weaver getting one final attack out. There's a giant Dragon's Arrow coming from mid lane. Will This Is Jimmy counter engage? No, they don't have enough people here, Murda.
Yeah, they great Dragon's Arrow, but they didn't have the follow-up. Asmodan didn't even hit the dunk, and back to safety's OSD sitting at level 16. They have that lead. I'm gonna throw the talents up on the screen for you so you guys can keep track at home. But with this lead, OSD might be looking for a fight here, and yes, they are. Murda pops that Avatar early enough, quick kill on Hanzo, and locked in his Dan Clan on that Deckard Kane. He has a Lornado, and he's running inside of the tornado right there. Dan Clan, though, might not make it back to safety. Here's the Cleansing Flame. Gonna get another triple kill for OSD, and here they go, looking to finish what they started in the top lane. This keep is under pressure, and without the Murda, without the Deckard Kane, and without the Hanzo, the defense here is non-existent for This Is Jimmy. First keep of the game going over to This Is Jimmy, but they do have Web Weavers, Rag.
Excellent counterplay there, getting those Web Weavers to give them back slight amount of control to this game. This Is Jimmy still not 16 yet. They do take that Web Weaver top, and now they're going to have pressure for the rest of the game in that top lane. Again, arguably the most important one in this map because of the boss in that top lane. So OSD here getting relatively free clear overall with the siege that they have on their team. But again, that Warden's Cage, so powerful. Being followed up with a dragon and a Cleansing Flame. Just excellent patience shown on the side of OSD.
All right, ladies and gents, up top, we have Asmodan starting to stack up J-Shifts at 279 stacks on his Q. Really, This Is Jimmy. If they want to get back in this, they need that Asmo to stay healthy and to get all that damage out as OSD is getting a free turn on the bottom side. This is Jimmy is looking at a boss, and it's going to be revealed once Enigmatic gets these gems in, but actually OSD canceled it, so I mean not nearly enough time to get to this boss, and a great steal here by This Is Jimmy grabbing that with their Hanzo.
Great play there by This Is Jimmy. Knowing that they have a Hanzo, they can easily burn through that boss. Let's see what they do with it. Their top lane is relatively pushed out, so that probably won't get as much value, but let's see where they take it.
Mid lane gonna get cleared up for free. Those knights aren't getting much value either, as top lane has to be defended by OSD. Essentially, the turn-in was wasted here. They're gonna get a free clear on bot, and they had to spend so much time, so many resources clearing up this boss that really huge for This Is Jimmy. Unfortunate for them that they didn't have to deal with the full grunt of this Webweaver phase.
Absolutely, that boss play in the top lane just effectively wasted that Webweaver push. No structures really went down from the side of OSD. I'm sorry, on the side of This Is Jimmy, there is a potential for an engage there. Corgi Booty is posturing in that bush. Great find by that Hanzo, but will Murda get away? Just avoiding that Umbral Bind. Unfortunately, having to use that arrow to disengage and avoid the wombo.
Yeah, Water Elemental got used too, so a trading out of ultimates from Jaina and Hanzo, keeping this even for now. As finally, I think I heard a structure fall there. Was that the... What was that? Okay.
I think that may have been Bot Fort.
Okay, Bot Fort was still up that whole time. Interesting. Okay, so looking at the Siege camp and looking at a Bruiser camp, teams are trying to get some Merc pressure on the map. OSD taking this neutral Giant camp, and the Knights are taken away on the side of This Is Jimmy. And here we go at mid lane. Corgi Booty stepping forward, so close to level 20. Surprised OSD is looking for anything right here, but they're playing without any sort of fear. But I don't know, I think they need to back up, and here comes Murda looking for Vault of the Wardens from Hedgie, dodging that Storm Bolt. Huge play there by him. Corgi Booty's in trouble, has his healing reduced and is falling very low. Still no indestructible for Johanna. She has to use her tap, and she is back to safety. Umbral Bind connecting on Blaze. He has to drop the bunker, but Dementia falling low and will be killed there by Sonya. So another kill picked up for OSD, and they're looking for more. Corgi Booty up front, so close to 20, wants that indestructible. Instead gonna sit in this abundance. Another kill there for OSD. They are relentless, chasing forward on Michi D's, and with Hedgie here, he's gonna have an Umbral Bind. That Bird, he didn't take it. He didn't hit the Umbral Bind, but here it comes. Will he get him now? There it is, pulling Murda back, doing a lot of damage as OSD, but the Avatar is used, and Asmodee's starting to chunk him out, and Cleansing Flame has to be played to keep OSD alive there, Rag.
Level 20 was not picked for that Alexstrasza, so unfortunately they did not get the on Ruby Wings proc. No double dragon for them, so I think pushing into this keep is just a little unsafe. One thing to notice though, unless they decide to go back in, they do have turn in, but do they push into this keep knowing that they don't have a Hanzo? There is top lane pressure catapults building in addition to a siege camp that's about to go down bot, but it looks like OSD is going to make the safe play, get turn in, and try once again to siege and potentially win the game with a pick.
And the way these lanes are set up right now, push in the favor of OSD. These web weavers are going to spawn deep. And with already one keep down, they could potentially be looking for 2 and 3 here. Manby leading the way with Corgi Booty in this bush. They're trying to see if anyone wants to stick their neck out. But Murden's going to rotate mid with his team and stay behind the wall for now. Waiting patiently for the web weavers is OSD. They're sneaky in this bush, trying to remain quiet. And they're going to pounce at the first chance they get. Trying to reveal it is Hanzo. Didn't use a Sonic Arrow. See if he wants to throw that out, though. There it is. Sonic Arrow revealing Enigmatic and Hedgie, and they know exactly where OSD is now. But a little too late. They're here in this bottom lane set up, ready to go. Webweaver is here now. Webweaver is also at mid and top, pretty deep, as I mentioned. So this has got to be a huge defense by This Is Jimmy, as OSD looking to siege forward. They're on this wall, taking out the first tower and the side wall already. The mid side of the wall is very low, as well as the secondary tower. They fall. Webweaver below 33% health, and there's not much left here for OSD to do. They have the 20 talent tier advantage, but do they want to push without a wave, without a Webweaver? Looks like they're going to start backing up just a little bit, as Asmodean and company are doing a fantastic job in clearing this out, Rag.
Weaver are building up in the top lane. It looks like they are going for the keep Murda. They tried to get that Umbral Bind on the Murden. Is that enough damage? The Warden Cage does go out. That Murden is getting blown up. He cannot get out. The bunker does save him. The Cleansing Flames does go out. We do expect the Dragon to come out after this. The Murden may not be able to make it out of this, and he goes down, Murda.
He goes down, and look at this. The dragons popped, and it's sustaining OSD through this keep push. They're looking for their second of the game. Asmodan, fully stacked now on his Q quest, is starting to destroy the heroes with every single dunk he throws. And OSD, even with Murden down, I don't think they have enough to continue pushing forward, because Asmodan, being the monster that he is in defense, is just too much to try to push through right now.
They are playing it safe, Murda. With that Murden down for another 30 seconds, they can paint the map blue. If you look at the top lane, there is a boss available. They're not a Hanzo, but they do have a Sonya and a Jaina who can burn. All the ultimates are almost up again without the Cleansing Flame. They might actually still have Dragon, though, so they have to be very careful here. I'm sure, as you can see by the map, that This Is Jimmy knows they're there. Do they take the engage, Murda? Do they fight for that boss? Murda, I don't actually hear you, so I'm going to continue casting. Mandy actually steals that boss, even with that Asmodan. There is a circle that falls down. Corgi Booty is so low, but he does take that level 20 talent on Johanna the Shield. The Umbral Vine does pull everyone back. That is 3 members down for 0. The boss taken in the top lane, pushing down top. Asmodan being the next target. That Alexstrasza is probably going to land right in front of him to push him back. It is not enough. That is 0 for 4.
I'm back, Rag. Sorry about that. Asmodan falls, and with the boss on core, that could be it. Dementia, the only hero still alive for This Is Jimmy. GGs have been thrown out in chat, and with that, OSD become your Season 5 ReGen Invitational 2 Grand Champions. Fantastic game. Fantastic series. OSD. Huge win there for them. They played last season in the event. They got 2nd place. They come back this season with Manby, a winner during the first ReGen Invitational. And Manby becomes the first 2-time champion of this event. He's got to be feeling good right now.
Excellent play once again from OSD, taking that series 3-0. That Maiev, an unstoppable force, just like in Game 1 on Infernal Shrines. The Alexstrasza, 139k healing in 22 minutes. That is insane. Cleansing Flame, Double Dragon, Point Control, just did an excellent job. And once again, even though the Water Elemental was taken, once Wintermute comes in, anything that steps into that Warden's Cage is pretty much dead, Murda. So even with the sustain and the blaze denial of damage through the bunker, unfortunately it wasn't enough. The game ends 14-2, 2 keeps down with the boss taken in top. OSD deserved that.
They certainly do. I'm trying to seek an interview with Corgi Beauty, the captain, see if maybe he wants to bring in one of his friends. Outstanding game. I'm going to send out an invite. It looks like Corgi Beauty and Enigma are going to be joining us. Sending out the invites now. Corgi Beauty has joined. See if we can find... There we go. Make sure you turn up their volumes, Rag. I know it mutes them. Okay, perfect. And I'll silence you in-game.
Great.
OSD, the grand champions of the ReGen Invitational 2. Corgi, Enigma, welcome and congratulations to you two. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I don't. Oh, I should be able to hear you now. I had you lowered. Corgi, could try again. There we go.
Hello?
Hello, I hear you now. Sorry about that. Congratulations.
Hey. Yeah, we heard. Thanks. Feels good, man.
So, season, or I should say the ReGen Invitational 1. You were on OSD. You guys made it to the grand finals. How does it feel making it back here to the grand finals and winning that matchup?
I don't know. We haven't been playing her a lot lately, but with the sub, we know I know Hedgie plays Maiev pretty well, so I just wanted to. She looks good into the Asmodan because he's really immobile and he has a fat body, so he's really easy to drag around. So that was big reasoning of behind the Maiev was Asmodan.
Sorry,
Nice.
Rag, I had you muted. I didn't even hear your question. I saw you talking.
Oh God. So I had just asked the priority on the Maiev, and you guys also prioritized the Maiev with Alex Straza. And one of the things that was mentioned in chat was Lifebinder versus Cleansing Flame. So can you guys talk a bit about that pick and why the Alex went the W build with the Cleansing Flame?
I think the main reasoning is a lot of comfort with that build and the sense we can play a little bit more aggressive when we do that instead of just having the single target. We like to play up kind of, aggressive a lot. So having her being able to heal all 5 of us just helps out instead of just single target.
I think another big part of it is if you look at their teams in both the games, in the Infernal and Tomb, both of their teams were pretty heavy on more AoE damage rather than single target focus, so the Cleansing Flame tends to get a bit more value in that situation.
Yeah, we saw it
Makes
get a
sense
lot
to me.
of
Murda,
value.
do you have any questions?
Yeah, sorry. We saw it get a lot of value there in game number 2, especially towards the end. You guys found a lot of damage with it, a lot of sustain with it, and really got to use both sides of the talent. And Trinth doing a great job. I know very talented support, but playing that Alex Straza in game number 3, definitely, at least in my opinion, had some MVP moments there.
Oh yeah, he's a beast on Alex.
So season 5 coming around, OSD, a notable exception from the list of teams who signed up. Tell us a bit about your plans going into the open division.
Well, with our new roster, we wanted to just really focus on scrimming some new, stronger teams that we've never scrimmed before, and just try and really improve and focus a lot on trying to do the best we can in the open division this season.
And a person missing today, Silent Shu. What's the status on him?
Right now, he's been traveling a little bit, and right now we're having Manby on. Not sure what the end game is going to be with that. Right now, Shu's been doing a lot of help coaching us a bit more and really making sure we're staying on top of ourselves, which he's done a great job of filling that role.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you guys have a fantastic manager in Vikale. Huge shout out for me. I'm sure you guys want to shout him out just as equally.
Oh yeah, Vikale does a lot of work. Even when he messes up the schedule for 2 weeks in a row, it's okay. He makes up for it in great shirts and months beforehand without many mistakes.
Rag, you got any more questions for these guys?
I think I'm all set. I mean, congratulations to you guys. Those series, those games were excellent. It was a pleasure to cast you guys. Thank you for allowing us to do that. The combos, the wombos, the engages, all really great learning points for everyone watching as well. I think you guys did a tremendous job, and you definitely deserve to be here, so congratulations.
Oh, one thing. Enigma, chat wants to know, where was Lunara in those grand finals?
Saving it for a rainy day.
All right.
Gotta flex out a little bit.
No reaction?
That's awesome.
We played it a little bit, but that was in the first few rounds. So
yeah, absolutely, man. All right,
yeah.
so
And I want to make one more huge shout out just to Not Paradox for filling in when our support was having a nap in round 3, and then for Hedgie in the finals here, pulling through when Woven's Power went out.
So,
big thanks to them.
Yeah, you guys made it through with a little bit of help. Sometimes you got to rely on some friends to make it through at the end of the day. Before I let you go, however, I want to give you the full floor to make any shout-outs you have, and we'll start with Enigma, and then Corgi, you can wrap it up.
All right. First off, I want to thank Not Paradox and Hedgie, obviously, for subbing in. I want to thank Vikale, Shu, and Smo for being a great staff for OSD. I want to thank all of Twitch chat, of course. I know everybody wants Twitch chat to be thanked. Few specifics. Counter Yourself, one of my good time buddies. Cold Cake, and one more. I forget him. Whatever. Other than that, that's pretty much it for me.
And Corky, got
I'll
any
shout
shout-outs?
out. I got pretty much the same shout outs there. I have my friend watching in chat, Rovak, Justin. He's always been supportive, so thanks to that. Shu is always, whether he's playing or not, he's always been there and really got me into this scene been on OSD for like the past year and a half now, so it's been like a huge growth for me. And everybody enigmatic shouted out, of course. Yeah, no, it's great.
All right, so that is Enigma and Corgi with their shout-outs. Once again, congratulations on becoming the ReGen Invitational 2 Grand Champions. You guys are taking home $100 worth of Battle.net gift cards, courtesy of myself and ReGen. Huge shout-out to you guys. Very proud of your performance. We also have the ReGen Invitational 2 Bracket Challenge, where I am proud to say we have two people tied for the top. It's Axon and it's Wieners. And I don't know how exactly we want to do this, but we have to pick a random winner out of the two. I'll be in touch with you guys later. Congratulations. Maybe we'll end up just splitting 10 apiece for those guys. Probably the better way to do it. It's just the two of them. So huge shout out to them. Congratulations. And I will be in touch for sure. Corgi and Enigma, thank you for joining for the interview. Rag, any closing words before we go? Tell these guys where they can find you.
So you guys can find me at twitch.tv/Ragnnarrok, 2 N's and 2 R's. As Murda mentioned, again, I am coaching for ReGen Red and trying to help them raise in the ranks for support and assassin. But again, Murda, it's a pleasure casting with you. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a long day, 9 hours of casting, but well worth it.
Well worth it indeed. I'm Murda. I've been your host and tournament director for this event. Very happy to have put it on. Again, couldn't have done it without all of my support staff, our admins, Red and Aura, for doing a fantastic job, all of our casters, all of our creative teams who helped put together the artwork and videos for this event. I have a full list of credits coming up after we sign off here, so make sure you stay tuned and see how all these people came together to put on this fantastic event. Once again, congratulations to OSD. They're your champions. They're going home with the prize. And until next time, I'm Murda. That's Rag. And joining us as champions were Corgi Booty and Enigma. Signing off until next time. See you later, Twitch.
Later, guys. Good night.
Shout out them casters.